student athletes.
Well, I don't know if we could have started out. I can't talk very much. I've lost my voice, but I don't know if we could have had a better test in game one of the postseason. And we talked to our guys about this being a new season, that we were 0-0 coming into this weekend. And I don't know if we could have been tested any more than we were tonight. Morehead State, what a great ball club. Thought their starting pitcher, Stanball, just battled. He battled all night long. We had multiple runners on base, I believe, in 6 out of the first 7 innings. Well, I know we had 2 on in the first 3 innings, had a runner on in the 4th. Seth hit the home run in the 5th. We scored 2 runs on him in the 6th, and then we had multiple runners on again in the 7th. So he battled all night long with runners on base and did an outstanding job of getting out of it. And they gave us all that we could handle. I mean, obviously we were down early in the ball game on a tough play, but our guys, they stayed poised, which we talk a lot about with our program, with our guys. Stayed confident. Nobody was frustrated. By the 2 errors in the inning. It just happens. But our guys did a good job of moving on from it. I thought Brooks pitched extremely well. Thought he did an unbelievable job, and our bullpen was phenomenal, as it's been all year long. And we had to use them. I mean, again, it as much as we would have liked to have gotten through the game, being able to save a couple of those guys, Morehead State just put us in a position where we had to use a number of guys, a number of go-to guys to win the ball game. But again, just a great baseball game. I don't know if I've been in a more stressful ball game in my life, but awfully proud of our guys, just how poised they are, how they continue to compete, and we found a way to get game 1 here in the regional.
Jordan, your second walk-off hit in a month. You had the error early. I know that you're a guy, you have a short memory, but were you thinking about that at all when you came up to the plate in that situation?
No, I mean, you got to clear your head. I mean, when I went up to bat, the only thing I was worried about was the pitches I was about to get, and just sticking to my process, making sure I'm taking a deep breath, seeing the pitch come in. I knew I was going to get sliders, so I knew what I was going to get, so I was able to make sure I stayed on it just enough to get the hit, get it through the hole.
Jordan, how much did you know about the Hatcher guy? I mean, obviously, a guy you hadn't seen in all year.
Which one was that?
Hatcher's guy you got hit off of.
Oh, the guy's guy. Oh, yeah, that should say enough. I don't know anybody by name. I just knew, Coach Buck came up and told me that he's throws a lot of sliders. And after, I guess, the Florida State walk-off, if I come in that position, I got to be expecting not a fastball, something other than a fastball. So I just felt like I had a good approach going up to the plate, and just wanted a good pitch to hit, and worked out for me.
Jordan, this was a team that threw a lot of off-speed. How were you guys able to adjust in-game, knowing that you kind of knew what was coming? It wasn't necessarily the fast stuff that you guys are used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to them. They kept us off balance most of the game. Starting pitcher, like I said, I forgot their names, but he had a really good changeup, and he was throwing it thigh high, and it dropped out of the zone for a lot of people. Got me, got a few others, but we were able to, after a few times through the lineup, regroup, readjust, go from a bat to bat, what happened last at bat, work off it, make those adjustments, and go up to the plate the next time in a better position to hit. So just a bat to bat, just adjusting. That's all it was.
Drew, was that the 8 guys on the lineup were batting over 300. What did you notice about their approach to the plate?
Yeah, I mean, they have a pretty aggressive approach. I mean, threw it around the strike zone, I knew they were going to put it in play just because of how their averages were. I mean, it kind of went through my mind that 1 through 8 was batting over 300, so that kind of worried me just a little bit because I'm a strike thrower, so that kind of worried me a little bit. But they're a pretty good team. I mean, they put the ball in play. I mean, they gave us a run for our money today.
Drew, your approach heading into that final at bat, are you thinking I can win it with one swing, or is it just get on base?
Yeah, I was just trying to get on base, whatever it took, honestly. And, when he started me off, I think it was 3-1, just trying to, I knew he liked to throw that curveball. So he threw it in a good spot, and 3-2, I was just trying to get on base, whatever I could do. And, he threw me a curveball again. I fought it off and, got that blue pit.
Drew, is that the fastest that you've run all season from second base?
Yeah, I was trying. I got not the best jump off the hit, but, I was just trying not to slip around third base. That would have been bad, but, yeah, I was definitely hauling as fast as I could around third.
The sleeve says all gas tonight. Any significance behind that?
Well, our motto for the players going in was all gas, no brakes. Aggressive mentality and just relentless. Every at bat, every pitch, be on it, be ready to go. All gas, no brakes.
Brooks, your second time through their lineup, you went 9 up, 9 down. What was the adjustment that you made after you saw everybody one time?
I actually didn't make a big adjustment. I mean, I just try to live a little bit more outside to the righties a little bit more, and then to the lefties, I mean, I busted them in, came back into them. So, I mean, it didn't really go through my mind that I got 9 up, 9 down. I didn't even really recognize it until after I guess I was done with the game. So, I mean, it didn't really go through my mind at all. So.
Jordan, after Florida State, you told us you didn't really know how to react. You didn't really know what to say. What do you think now?
I mean, I'm still stunned. I really don't have anything for you. I wish I did, but I'm not Seth Beer, so I'm very new to this, and I mean, I hope it keeps going. I'll take it, but I really have nothing. I'm still stunned.
Coach, you got Vanderbilt tomorrow. Are we finished with the players? Oh, sorry. Players good? All right, guys, you can go. Sure. Go ahead, Brad.
Obviously, you're a club that you're familiar with played them last year in the regional, and a club that pitches well and plays solid baseball all the way around. What do you know about what you guys are in for tomorrow?
Well, what we know about Vanderbilt, they have a very athletic lineup. I think if you look at their lineup in game one, they look good in the uniform. You just look across the field. They've got some good-looking kids. I know Tim does an unbelievable job of recruiting. They recruit high-level athletes, extremely quick twitch, fast, strong, very good defensive ball club, and they recruit power arms. So, they've got big physical power arms that are going to throw hard. They're going to pitch off their fastball, probably more than we saw tonight. That's going to be a big adjustment for us going from game one to game two is the type of arms that we're going to see and what we're going to see in certain counts. They're going to challenge us probably a little bit more. And they're a good defensive ball club. Tim's teams don't beat themselves, so you got to beat them. But I'll say this, the great thing about tonight's game and what we can take from tonight's game going into tomorrow, which is what I told our guys after the game, is we can't be tested any more than we were tested tonight. Our club's really been tested a lot this year. We've got 15 one-run games, wins. So, I mean, we've been tested all year long, and again, I think that going through what we went through tonight is only going to help us going into tomorrow when it comes to being ready to go, getting those first game jitters out of the way. I felt like we were a little bit out of whack early in the ball game, just trying to get our timing down. The toughest part, sorry, I don't have much of a voice left. The toughest part for us is trying to go from playing last Saturday to playing Friday. Our guys are so routine-based, and we're able to get those midweek games in and keep our guys fresh and on a routine. I felt like we were a little bit out of whack first time through the order. Second time, we settled in a little bit more. Thought our pitching staff did a phenomenal job. I don't know if we could have pitched better. I mean, we really did a great job. I mean, you take away, scored 2 runs in the 1 inning off 2 errors. Besides that, we did a really good job on the mound. So I was proud of our pitching staff. So, but Vanderbilt's a good club. They play in the SEC, one of the best conferences in the country. They're going to be tested. They're going to be ready to go. So it'll be a heck of a test. But thank God we're playing tomorrow night.
Pitching, Monty, what's your plan for tomorrow night?
We're going to discuss it. Coach C and I and Bradley will talk about it here in just a little bit. But I would imagine we're going with Higginbotham. We've been doing that all year long. So, but I'm going to talk to them before we announce, but that would be, probably what we'd wind up doing.
As it got into the later innings, did the play at the plate where Hawkins got thrown out with beer on deck, did that enter into your mind to think
No, not at all. You can't. You got to understand something about baseball with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. You send runners. You got to send the runners. You can't focus on who's on deck whatsoever. That's why when runners get thrown out at the plate, they get thrown out with 2 outs because you send them 100% of the time. You force the defense to make a play, and I thought it was the right play. He had to make a good throw. No, that was absolutely the right call in that situation. Now, if it's 1 out, that's a different scenario altogether. When you've got a sac fly sitting at third, but with 2 outs, 100% of the time, you're going to send a runner. You're going to try to score a run.
Speaking of Hawkins, you said the other day that you plan to use him against left-handed pitching. He came up big for you tonight. Plan to leave him in there regardless of whether you face a lefty or righty tomorrow?
Well, Hawk does a good job against left-handed pitching. We felt like he had good at-bats against left-handed pitching in the ACC tournament. We really hadn't had an answer, so to speak, versus lefties in that spot all year. So we felt like, let's give this guy a crack. He's got some power. And he put together some good at-bats, I felt like. So we decided to go with him again. But, we're going to look at the matchup. We spend a lot of time looking at stats, split stats, righty and lefty. Obviously I'm going to consider it because he had a good night for us tonight. But we'll also look at some of our left-handed options if we're facing a right-hander.
The job that Crawford did for you tonight and keeping you guys in that game against that lineup?
Well, Brooks has been just so consistent all year long. And that's kind of what he does every time out. Brooks hasn't had a start all year where we had, and obviously I'd have to look back, but I don't recall Brooks having a start where we had to go get him in the third. He hadn't had one of those starts. Almost every time he goes out there, he's going to be able to get you two times through the lineup, and a lot of times here lately, a third time. Or he's getting better and better as the year is going on. So, I hated that we had to take him out of the ball game. We felt like at the time that was the right matchup to bring in the lefty to face the lefty, but overall, Brooks has been, probably our most consistent starter this year now. So I'm awfully proud of him.
How do you feel about having Jordan open that situation, and how important is it to get this win, especially with the pitching you guys used tonight?
Ask that, Glenn, again.
How good did you feel about having Jordan up in that situation, and how important was this win, especially with the pitching you guys had to use tonight?
Well, anytime you're the home team, you feel pretty good about it in a tie ball game because you get the last at bat. So we're going to get the last crack at them. When Wharton got on with the flare hit, and honestly, I was super proud that Cromwell got the bunt down. Once we got the bunt down and we got Jordan coming up, in that situation, you feel pretty good about it. You got a veteran hitter. And he was sitting on sliders. We had went over the scouting report when they brought Hatcher in that he was going to spin a lot of sliders, so just sit on it, especially with runners in scoring position. So, he did a good enough job of just staying on the baseball enough to get it through the 6th hole, and he won the game for us.
See the bottom of the order come through for you and win
Well,
the game.
that's a good question because the bottom of the order did an outstanding job for us. If you look at Green, Green down. Green was 2 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI. Hawk was 2 for 4 with an RBI. Sam Hall hit a big double and then got picked off at second base. But, the bottom of our order, did a nice job tonight.
Do you leave this press conference? Are you going straight to meetings? What time do you envision you'll go to sleep tonight?
Oh, probably. It'll be 3 a.m. bare minimum. And then my sleep band, our fatigue science bands. If I'm lucky to get 4 or 5 hours, that'll be a good night. So, but no, I'll be here for quite a while. I'm usually the last one to leave.
On that note, I think it's a good time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.